The law of karma, bondage or soul release. The truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. The Epistle of St. Paul to the Galatians contains this oft-quoted statement, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whoever man soweth, that shall he also reap." In Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa tells a story from the life of the Benares saint Trailanga Swami. A skeptic once determined to expose Trailanga as a charlatan. A large bucket of calcium lime mixture used in whitewashing walls was placed before the Swami. "Master," the material said in mock reverence, "I have brought you some clabbered milk. Please drink it." Trailanga unhesitantly drained to the last drop the container full of burning lime. In a few minutes, the evildoer fell to the ground in agony. "Help, Swami, help," he cried. "I am on fire. Forgive my wicked test." The great yogi broke his habitual silence. "Scoffer," he said, "you did not realize when you offered me poison that my life is one with your own. Except for the knowledge that God is present in my stomach, as in every atom of the creation, the lime would have killed me. Now that you know the divine meaning of boomerang, never again play tricks on anyone." The well-purged sinner, healed by Trailanga's words, slunk feebly away. Yogananda goes on to say, the reversal of pain was not due to any volition of the Master, but came about through unerring application of the law of justice, which upholds creation's farthest swinging orb. Men of God realization like Trailanga all allow the divine law to operate instantaneously. They have banished forever all thwarting cross-currents of ego. Not by reason alone, but by self-realization, are the ins and outs of destiny fully understood. Their web, though tied forever to the post of ego motivation, is too intricate to be perceived as a single thread. Only great masters can see it with clarity. It is visible to them in all its workings, not from within the tangle, but from above, in superconsciousness. As Sri Krishna said in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he who beholds inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is one with the Spirit. He has attained the true goal of action, perfect freedom. Thus, through holy scriptures, God has spoken to mankind. Good morning to all. This karma, what is this karma? It's makes you slave or freedom to the soul. Many think, yeah, sure, I've done that. That has happened. It was my karma. Do we have to just live the karma without saying and accepting it? Many years ago, I asked Shivani, and she said, karma is a wave that comes. It's not said that you have to go into the wave. For me, life is a school, and karma are the homework that we have to do, to learn and to grow. When children go to school, they are not happy to have homework to do. They would like to be out and play, have fun. But they have to do their homework, to pass their lesson, their school. If they want to grow, if they want to become better. And the same is for us. When we have a lesson to live, we are not really happy when we have to go through it. Many pray and ask, please Lord, change these circumstances, without understanding that God is giving us that circumstance to change ourselves. Not us, but the circumstance that has to change. Children, they are in school. I like this analogy of school. So, going back to the school, that is an analogy I really like with life. Children are not left alone. They have a teacher that guides them, that tells them what to do, what they have to learn. And that's, for us, is the same thing. If we have the fortune to have a guru, to have a teacher, we must take advantage of this and really accept him that takes care of our life. As we say in our ceremony of purification, the Guru says, open your heart so I can take care of your life. Our master or guru, when we understand that he is our guru and we open to him, he has really taken the responsibility of our life, a responsibility to take us by hand to God. And he knows us for many lives now, and he's following us for so many lives. Babaji would tell his disciple Lahiri, when you were in your mother's womb, I was with you. When you were playing in the sand on a beach, I was there with you. And that's the same for us as well. But we just are not aware. We must try to help our mind understand this reality. The more we open to this, the more we understand. A guru is like a good mother, a good father. He does not give us ever nothing that is not for our well-being, even if in this moment it can be difficult to live. If we sit in the arms of our Guru or of Divine Mother, nothing can touch us. If we find our inner faith in our Guru. We are like a baby in the arms of the mom, of the mother. This child will have no fear because he knows that the mother will take care and give him everything, all the circumstances that he needs. She will protect him in every situation and difficulty. You know, if we sit in the arms of God, He's just obliged to take care of us. He cannot let us fall. If we embrace this possibility, when karma arrives, we will be ready. When a karmic hurricane arrives, it will take away much. Probably 10-20% of our practice and our security will stay there, rooted. But we will not be pushed right and left. If we are in the arms of the Guru and of Divine Mother, we learn to be in our center. And we will be like in the center of this hurricane where there is no movement. Outside everything is moving, but inside everything is still. A month ago, I went to Rome, where I have my son and daughter, and I have a granddaughter. And that morning, I went with her to school. We walked, and I was holding her hand. And at one point, instead of holding her hand in this way, I will hold it like this. And she said, my father also holds my hand like this, and sometimes he just holds me with one finger. And this was such an inspiration, because if we also, probably not to hold Master, not with a whole hand, because we cannot do that, but if we could just only feel his contact with one finger, how much would this be beautiful, and how much guidance he could give us. The attunement with the Guru is so important. When we are not aware, I have said this many times, when a small young baby starts walking, he's not straight on his legs. He's concentrated trying to walk, and he does not realize that Mother is taking away all the obstacles for him not to fall and hurt himself. And this way, we are not aware of how many obstacles the Divine Mother and the Guru are taking away from our path. If we open, we are giving him the opportunity to protect us. There are two stories from the biography of Yogananda, the biography of Yogananda that Swami wrote. One talks about Bernard, a disciple of Master that was very intelligent, and Master had given him many important tasks. He had a lot of physical problems. He was lacking one lung and had a very strong scoliosis in his spine. And because he was always connected to Master, he could do incredible things and do what he had to do with vigor and strength. But Swami told us that slowly he became arrogant and started to draw his attention from Master towards him, and started to lament himself and to say and to nag, saying, I need a more comfortable room because I'm sick. I need less work, to do less work. And Master consented that. But because of this pride he had developed from what Master had given him as tasks, he slowly lost this attunement with Master. And one day, Master said, look at Bernard, while he was in tune, he could do many things. But now that he's losing this attunement, even if I worry, there is nothing I can do for him. His body continues to be weaker. And then there is another story of another disciple that had economical problems and that had received the offer of a very positive job. And because he was very faithful to the Guru, he wrote to Master and he said, Master, they offered me this job. I am thinking I will accept it. And immediately a telegram arrived from Master that said, absolutely, you should not take that job, without explaining anything. For this disciple, it was difficult to accept because he really needed the money for his family, for himself, but he really was faithful, and he did not accept this job. And 1 week after, the people that would work there ended up in prison because they were not honest, and if he would have worked there, he would have been arrested himself. And then you can say, well, Master was alive. It's easier if you have a living Master. But this is not true, because a Master of this caliber, these are all talking about the school, the analogy of the school. These are all with PhD and Masters. A liberated Master does not need to go back to school. In fact, they did not have to come back to learn lessons. But we all know that in a school you need really teachers that will teach us and to help us find the way to have a degree as well. So, when you are a master with such a degree, you can come in and out from a school. And it's true, they're not here with their physical body, but not for this, they are not present. In fact, I know of a story of some years ago. A great saint went to visit Ananda, and they were very impressed. People were very impressed, and someone went to him and said, I want to be your disciple. And he said, why do you want to become my disciple? You're Yogananda's disciple. He said, Yogananda is alive, you are the one that is dead, because his faith was dead. Yeah. This brings us to a different point. When we find our Master, our Guru, and we are sure that he is the right guide for us, it is not good to go to other saints, even if they are realized masters, saints. It's a question of vibration. I have read that our chakras of a master and of his disciple vibrates at this same frequency. I don't know if it's true, but I like this image. In any case, his vibration is perfect for us. And as a person, Inananda said a phrase or a concept that I like very much, that we all have a whole that has the form of God and that only God can fill. The Guru, our Guru, has the form of that whole. And if we go to someone else, it's like it's like those little toys of children where you have a square and you have to put it in and it's a round shape, and this can have you lose the attunement with your Guru. And then you say, when you go to India, you visit saints, and it's true, we go to visit saints, but these are saints that are perfectly in tune with what our masters say, and with their energy, and we go as a group. To having a magnetism that draws us always towards the attunement with our master, with our Guru. If we go to a saint that and where his energy connects us to the energy of our Guru, that is good. It's just like Swami when he would go and visit Ananda Moima. He respected her, he loved her, but this never distracted him from his attunement with Master. I will tell you a story that I lived personally some years ago. Some years ago, I had seen in television an interview of a saint that had the stigmata. And when Easter came, there was this extraordinary phenomenon. The stigmata would start to bleed in all the places where Jesus had injuries. And I was really incredibly impressed, fascinated. But then he would live these 40 days of agony, 3 days of agony, of the Passion. And then the last day, an angel would clean and they would close miraculously all the stigmata. And I was fascinated by this saint. And then one day I discovered that he lived in Umbria. And then so I went to visit him. I was interested. And I introduced him to Swami Kriyananda, and I actually was spiritually touched by this person. When Swami would come from the United States or from India, he would come here. There was a tradition. Nadia would pick him up, and when he was in Assisi, he would call us, and we would all run to wait for him outside of his house to receive him and give him our welcome and to feel his presence. And that year, I went to the office and I said, please call me, because as soon as Nadia calls that he is in Assisi, you call me, so I want to go and run to receive Swami. And time went by. At one point, I go down to the office and I say, well, what happened? Has Nadia called? And they say, we have called you many times and you did not answer. I was there and I was sitting there. I had understood that I had lost my attunement with Swami Kriyananda. You know, I would always arrive at the same time. We would go to a hotel and without thinking we would come out of the elevator together. I could say hello to him and greet him all the time in that right moment. And that time it wasn't so. When I understood that, I said, I will not follow that saint anymore. It took me 2 years to find again the attunement with Swami, and it was very painful. Painful to have lost it. So going back to karma, if it's an opportunity or something that makes us slaves, we have to understand that life is a dream, it's not real. It's not only because our masters tell us, because even people that are not following our path, but that they have leave of whatever religion and tradition. People of every background, they all talk of the same experience of after death, saying that this life was just an illusion. Yogananda tells us that in a dream, there are people that can direct their own dream with their will as they wish. And in the same way, we can also change our dream. When a karma arrives, this dream becomes a bad dream. But we can reduce the effect of this. How can we do it? A nightmare. With all the techniques we have from our masters, keeping ourselves in the centered. We have many instruments that we can use. And I suggest this to many. Paste on a wall an SOS, things that I have to do when I'm in a crisis. Because we forget the instruments we have. And this is the power of illusion of Maya. There is no one like Maya, as awake as Maya in this matter. So write down on a piece of paper all the remedies that we have and that we know that work. That is meditation, energization, superconsciousness exercises, affirmations, plus everything that works for us. Remember that we have to have our energy go up, because if it goes down, it's a problem. In that moment, we open the door. In the crisis moment, if we put this energy up, then we will get in contact to solutions. But if we permit our energy to come down, then it is really a problem, because our magnetism has us attracts more and more negativity. And if we open the door, fear, and then we will have fear of our health and of our money situation, for everything. Going back to the idea of the school, that no child will be registered into a class that he's not ready to be in. And that's the same for us. Every karma, every difficulty can be sustained by us. By ourselves? No. With the touch finger with our guru, or the hand holding our guru. Everything is different. It's a question of vibration. When we arrive to a vibration of, let's say, level 6, then our karma number 6 awakens, and it is there, so we can elaborate it and attend it. If we understand that life is an illusion, and that we are in God's arms, and we are in duality, it means duality. Black, white, day, night, good, bad, problem, solution. We just need to find it. There are many ways to transform a karma. One of these is gratefulness, gratitude. And this is why we read the affirmation on gratitude. It's not always easy, because not always it is easy to perceive the loving hand of the Guru and of God in everything that is happening to us. But at least we can try to be grateful, because God is there. I am going through this difficulty, but I'm thankful because I know you are there. Finding the way. Gratitude has the power to transform the energy of a situation, from fear and low energy to high. In school, if a child does not want to study, what happens? Yeah. He will have to, in some cases, repeat the year. Thank you. If we don't want to go through a challenge, we will have to do it again. And we will have to encounter it in a different life, in a next life. We cannot hide, we cannot find refuge in things that fill our mind, or even in cases of resolving with a suicide. Or in some cases, thank you, they can, if we suicide ourselves, next time, I think our soul will tell us, you have not learned the lesson, I will have to be stronger and harder on you to see if you learned this time. So really, it's best thing for us, because the lessons that come to us serve to expand ourselves. If we want to have a degree, this degree means to expand ourselves so much that to embrace God. God is not small. He is very large. We have to become large to embrace Him. And this makes me think the theme of non-attachment. Sometimes in these difficulties, what we have to learn is the non-attachment, to let go. When we use these expressions, oh, I have this difficulty, I have to renounce to this or not do that, what can I do? Swami Kriyananda founded the monastic order of the new era that puts attention differently to other monastic orders created in the past, that put attention on the renunciation. The renunciate order of that Swami created puts attention on the sense of freedom that comes when we let go something, because our soul is complete, does not need this or that, is complete. And in the school of life, this is what we have to learn. It could be that this happened to you when you moved from one house to another, that you had to throw away things, and how did you feel? You felt free. In fact, now I have this way of living where I find moments where I purge and I throw away things, even if I don't have to change house.
About renunciation, there is a story from Socrates, from a book of Anthony de Mello. Socrates goes in the market and try to look everything that is there, and the disciples says, "You don't need anything. Why you go to the market?" I go there to see how many things I can avoid, I don't need. I've talked about gratitude, but there is a higher way to transform karma, and is that Swami Kriyananda used. He put his life completely in the hands of God, and he wasn't praying for himself, but obviously if you put your life in the hands of God, you know that God is going to support you. He will take care of you, of your life. So you don't have to ask, are you going to take care of this or that? If you trust Him, you don't need to do this. Jesus did the same. For me, the moment in which Jesus transformed the karma, not Jesus' karma, but the disciples' karma, to allow them to be ready to receive the Holy Spirit. The moment he transformed this karma, for me, is not on the cross, but it was when he said, "Thy will be done." And now I'd like to listen from Swami Kriyananda, Christ live, thy will. And for those who cannot understand English, I want to read in Italian. So we have Jesus after the challenge in Gethsemane. And these are the words in Italian of the chant.
Tutto ciò che sono è tuo. Niente dell'uomo dura, né i prodigi, né il disprezzo. Nascita, vita, morte sono una cosa sola. Vedi del tuo amore, la tua volontà, soltanto la tua volontà. Tutto ciò che ho fatto è tuo, tutto ciò che ho fatto. Ascoltiamo questo brano.
So we listen to this chant.